Hello everyone, this is part 19 of What If Naruto Got Lost During His Training TS, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe, it gives me more motivation. Enjoy. Shock and surprise literally make themselves known on his face, after which, he realized that he was caught in a trap. Either the girl with him really was a member of some rebel organization, or she was trying to see if he was and was going to report him to her fiancé. So just like his father, he went with what his instincts were telling him to do. Well, I'm not a part of any rebel organization like you are. I'm not going to tell anyone if you are. Come on, tell me the truth please. I know you won't tell anyone what I just said, cause if you do it's the chopping block for you. I'm really not part of a rebel group. That's the honest to goodness truth. And I thought I wasn't alone in here. Alone? What do you mean alone? I thought you were a spy too, and were trying to find some information or something. You know I really do know where those children you want to know about are. No matter what you say, it won't change the fact that I'm not part of any rebel group. Then what are you? No need to shout. Well, fine. I'm Rosuto Naruto, son of Rosuto Juashu. Oto-sama really wants me to find those kids, to see if they are being mistreated in any fashion. If they are, well, I'm sure you've at least heard of the events in the other countries. No way. You are Oto-san's the guy behind all of that. Why yeah? Why is it so surprising? It's just that the people I work with have been trying to contact him. We really could use your help, and I really don't want to have to marry the daimyo. You see, originally I was supposed to seduce the daimyo, who practices polygamy, and get him to make a healthier health plan for the country, like stop his war. Why is Sakana at war with the other lands anyway? We've got far too many people as it is. The war has been going on for centuries since we've needed more land to put everyone in. So, about those kids. Oh, right. Well, there's this big lake that's got an island in the middle of it. It's a human breeding facility, all healthy women are brought there, and well, the country has been making babies like rabbit for the longest time. Everyone there is treated as cattle. After a woman pops out a baby, she is forced into making a new one. They're given the best medical treatments and stuff that the country can provide, but all the people there are treated like animals. Most of the soldiers that the country has is made up of people from that facility and a few others scattered all over Sakana. So is everyone trained from birth to follow some sort of religion or principle belief or something? Well, from an early age, we are taught that men come from the waters, and there they shall return. Which is why men aren't buried in the earth but left in the lakes. While women are creatures of the earth, and therefore are buried in the earth. But I have a suspicion that some officials and nobles have sold the boss to Tetsu. That's a lot of information you've given me. Yes, well, you're part of the group that's planning to liberate the 9 lands, aren't you? How's you know about that? People talk, and it's kind of logical with the way things have been going on lately. So, what now? Now, you get out of here and tell that Oto-san of yours. No need. He already knows. How? I just told you. Ever heard of magic? You said that already. Well, it's not that. Oto-sama is telepathic. What does that mean? He can read minds. Oh. So why didn't he just do that with the daimyo? It's complicated. Oh. So, now what? She asked. Well, seeing as you don't want to be left in here, I could take you with me when I leave, he suggested. If you do that, the daimyo will know that there's a rebel movement. It might endanger my friends. Nothing's easy nowadays, is it? Well then I guess I'll just have to come back for you later, he said as he stooped up and walked back to the closet. Wait, she said, I haven't told you my name yet. I thought you didn't want me to know your name. My name is Musha Amiko, my older brother is the head of the rebels. It was nice to meet you, Amiko-chan, he said as he walked into the shadow, literally like father like son. He exited from the shadow of his father, who was standing in front of 100 crocs, and 200 clones in scuba gear. So, you've given me a name, and taken mine, Hi, Oto-sama, you need one. Plus out clan name can be Juashu if you want. Yano, so it stands out and stuff. Fine. From now on I am Rosuto Juashu of the Juashu clan. Naruto, the original one, announced both verbally and to all his clones, and those clones that had become real people had lost the connection, the other clones would have to inform them. So, what's the plan, Otu-sama? Naval warfare, Juashu said, then dacked his naval force, prepare the ballistas, mount them on the crocs, and prepare to move out. Hi. The army shouted, the crocs bellowed in affirmation. By the end of the day, the same day that the sun was born, Naruto's army had made its way, via the water, to the lake surrounding the breeding facility, the one closest to the capital, the main one. He stood on top of the snout of one of the crocs that was peeking just barely out of the surface of the lake. Being unable to find any real weaknesses, as well as not knowing if attacking the walls would be a good thing, Naruto's sight became the wind's sight, and he saw that there was nothing in the building, but he noticed something unusual. On the shore there were wagon tracks leading away from the lake. There also appeared to have been a battle that had occurred possibly the day before. It looked as if the information that Emiko had given to Naruto was a bit flawed, in the sense that she didn't know that her organization planned on attacking the facility or had attacked the facility. Juashu then had Naruto fetch his girlfriend from the castle. Go, fetch that girl of yours, we need more info. Hi, was the response. A few minutes later an explosion was seen and heard. Juashu looked in the direction of the capital and saw that a large cloud of smoke was rising into the sky. That idiot. Maybe I shouldn't have given him so much of my prankster side. Juashu regretted. All of you, return to base, immediately. Juashu shouted to his troops. I'll wait for that idiot. Hi. They all said, then using their teleportation devices all left. As they arrived at base the devices disintegrated since they were all just a one-time thing. A few minutes later Juashu could hear the footsteps of a person running on water, while at the same time he could also hear the scream of a young woman. Looking back at the direction of the capital, he saw his son Naruto carrying said young woman in his arms. A few seconds later he was splashed in the face with some of the polluted water. Otu-sama, I'm back. I got her too. So. Now what? He said while he adjusted his hold on the girl who had just moments ago fainted. We go back to base, then you tell me exactly what you did to the capital. Hi, Gumentu-san. Let's go, Juashu said as he walked into the rays of the setting sun, Naruto following after him. When they got back to base Juashu led Naruto to their sleeping quarters so that Naruto could put Emiko in a bed for her to lie in instead of in his arms. So, Otu-sama, why are we sharing a room? So that you don't do anything that I will regret. Wah, but I'll be the one doing the deed, not that I'll actually do the deed, but. Naruto, hi, shut up, you can have the other bed. Arigato Otu-san, but where are you going to sleep? Quote. Otu-sama, Naruto said, then he noticed that his father had already fallen asleep while leaning against the wall. Whoa, he fell asleep on the wall, might as well get some rest as well. I have a feeling that tomorrow is going to be very hectic, he said as he lay down on the other bed in the room, leaving his father sleeping against a wall. Dawn the next day, Naruto woke up to the sight of his father no longer being in the room and Emiko sleeping in his bed. But before he could leave the bed, the door to the room opened to reveal Juashu. So I take it you slept well, considering that she transferred to your bed halfway through the night. This isn't what it looks like to-san, I swear. If you say so, so when we meet her brother'll telephone him you rode his sister in her sleep. But I said that this isn't what it looks like. What it looks like is that she is sleeping with her clothes on, and you with your clothes on. Oh, then we'll stick to what it looks like then. Wake her up, and change your clothes, the both of you. I need you in scuba gear, and her at least in a wetsuit. Got it? Juashu asked. Hi, Naruto, his son, answered. Good. I'll meet you at the Supercroc enclosure, Juashu said as he left the room. Naruto got out of bed and tried to shake Emiko awake, to no avail, the girl just wouldn't wake up. So he decided to use a different tactic, he spat out a stream of cold water on her. That got her to immediately wake up. That WW was CC cold. Here's a towel, Naruto threw her a towel which landed on her head, the shower's in the room over there, I'll put out something for you to wear, then we'll both go to where Otu-sama is. Oh okay, UHM. Naruto-kun. Hi, Amiko-chan. Where am I? Right now, you're in me and Otu-sama's room. We're in our Sakana base of operations found at the bottom of one of Sakana's lakes. We're underwater. Shugoi, go take a shower and change already. I think Otu-sama wants us there fast. Hi, Anno, can you help me? I don't know how to use the shower here, that is. I don't know what a shower is. Sure. Just don't tell your brother, Otu-sama already warned me. Hi. When the duo finally made their way to where Juashu was, they saw neither hide nor hair of him. But they did see the over 100 crocs that littered the place, while the staff were running around flinging all sorts of things at them. It was feeding pandemonium in there. There were a few divers on the side lounging around eating breakfast. But there was no Juashu. Hey, what are you two standing around there for? Called out one of the divers, get over here and have some grub. So the duo went over to them and grabbed some food and they too watched the feeding frenzy, not that any of the feeders were in any real danger. So, have any of you seen Otu-sama? Naruto asked them. Nope, haven't seen him yet. But we were told to get here all suited and ready to go at a moment's notice. How about you two? He tell you anything? One of the divers said. Nah, he just told us to get dressed, and get over here quick. Get dressed? You mean the two of you were caught by him? Another diver said. Hey, cool down, Naruto-sama is Juashu-sama's son, it's okay. So chill, another one of the divers said. The pandemonium of the feeding frenzy suddenly stopped as the crocs sensed the presence of a frightening predator. The clones that were feeding them cleaned up the uneaten food then walked off. While the divers all stood at attention, Naruto doing the same thing. Amiko, Naruto whispered, stand up, Otu-sama is coming. Hi, she whispered back before standing up, not used to the wetsuit. Once Juashu stood in front of the assembled divers and crocs, he started to give out his orders. We shall commence the rescue mission in a few hours. I've sent for reinforcements, which will be arriving shortly. Information has just reached us that Musha Toru is being held in a holding facility that is located near one of the country's breeding facilities. Mucha Toru is the leader of Sakana's only rebel organization, and I intend to recruit him. Your job is to get him and all innocents out of those facilities. Once you return here, we will follow standard operating procedures. The coordinates for the facilities have already been inputted into the teleportation gates, they are all primed and ready for use. Level the facilities and get all the good guys out. Sakana's nobility know that there will be a rescue operation, but they do not know by who. Is that understood? Hi, all the divers answered, while the crocs bellowed that they did too. Naruto, Amiko stay, everyone else, move out. The army personnel burst into motion, a number of the staff were fitting the armor of the crocs on, while the divers all checked the gear. The teleportation team, which was made up of mage clones in scuba gear, were preparing the teleportation rods that would be used to form the temporary teleportation gate. Once the crocs had their armor on, they were each fitted with a ballista. Its bolts were also strapped onto the crocs' backs. Each croc was given a diamond to eat to give them an energy boost. Once all the men, women, and crocs were prepared, they made their way to the gates, ready for battle. Naruto, Amiko, I'm leaving you two in charge of welcoming the new arrivals. Hi, the two answered. Make sure to give a positive first impression. You will be the commanding officers in my absence. Otu-sama, where will you be going? I will be looking for someone in the capital. You fouled up but weren't caught due to this person. His name is Tabu Tama, a descendant of the bastard line of the royal clan. Oh, so is he going to be your commander for this base? No, I shall be leaving you here to be one of 3 leaders, and shall be taking Tama with me to Naira no Kuni. Who will be the other 2? Naruto asked. Musha Amiko and Musha Toru. After saying that, Juashu transformed before their eyes into a little girl that resembled his Oiroku no Jutsu form, wearing a light pink kimono, then burst into butterflies, which disappeared almost as soon as they had disappeared. Your Otu-sama can really do magic. Yeah, so let's get to the gate room. Okay, I'm used to greeting people since Oni-san taught me how and stuff, Oni-san too. Oni-san. Oni-san's wife, my sister-in-law, she's the daughter of the 3rd son of the youngest brother of the daimyo. The daimyo's younger brother is also in the rebel organization, he's our backer, I hope he didn't get caught. Oh, so that why that guy didn't care when I said I was going to kill you. Yup. Juashu had reached the place where he was to meet up with Tama. He, in chibi female form, walked up to him. His brown hair reached his upper back and was tied in a loose ponytail. He appeared sickly, but he had been able to take out a few soldiers all on his own. He was actually a pretty good thief that had been stealing food from the nobles. He was one of those rare cases of people that were born outside of the controlled breeding facilities. He had a pair of kind eyes that looked fondly at the little girl that had walked up to him. Oni-san, there was an Oni-san that said to tell you that he wanted to thank you for stalling for another Oni-san. Thank you for telling me, can you show me where he was? Tama asked the little girl. Hi, the little girl answered enthusiastically, then led him to a shaded area. So where is this other Oni-san now? In the blink of an eye the little girl had vanished only to be replaced by Juashu. Right here. You. Where'd you come from? Where's the little girl? That isn't important right now. I'm pressed for time as it is. The short of it is that I need your help in establishing a base in Niran no Kuni. As well as command it while I go to the last of the 9 to establish another base there. So are you willing to come help me cause some chaos? Juashu asked. I see. I've heard of your exploits in the other countries. They're onto you. I've heard talk that Sakana might ally with the rest to be rid of you. But they'll only band together if Niran and Sekihine are bothered by you. I know. So how about it? Will you join me? If you can convince Mushatoru to join you, I will join you. Come with me then, to my underwater base. He is being rescued as we speak. The seek, rescue, and destroy mission was a complete success. The only thing that had yet to happen was for Mushatoru to join Juashu's group. Upon seeing Juashu with Tama in tow, Toru moved toward him. So are you really the head of this whole operation? Toru asked. I am. And you want me to head your base here with my sister and that guy who calls himself your son? I do. Why? You want to solve the country's problems. So do I. Since I need to go to some other places, I need people who are aware of the situation to lead my armies to victory. I also need people worthy of my trust. And for you to get arrested and subjected to the things that you were. I am willing to place my trust in you. My instincts have rarely, if ever, been wrong. If you say so. Toru then faced his sister and gave her a thumbs up, then faced Juashu. I'm in. The two then shook each other's hands. That was it. So, Tama, he's one of mine now. Are you? Juashu asked Tama once Toru returned to his sister's side. I'm your man. Good. No time to waste. Let's go. Go. Now. How? We just got here. We have to rest for the junior head. It'll take at least half a year to reach the border, then another half year to reach the twin capitals of the land of civil wars. No problem, I'll get us there today. How do you plan on doing that? You'll see. All you have to do is trust me, Juashu said as he walked away heading for one of the crocs that had made its way back into the gate room. Hey, you still haven't explained how we got here. Just follow me so we can get to Niran already. Juashu shouted as he was swallowed whole by the croc. He was just eaten by that thing. Tama shouted. Dear Kami, someone save him. Toru shouted. This can't be happening. Amiko shouted. Toru, just follow him already. He's probably wondering why you're still here, Naruto said. What? The three others shouted, while the other people in the room just stared at him, these other people being clones. What do you mean follow him? I'm going to S2 if that thing eats me. Tama shouted at Naruto. How can you act so indifferent? Your father just got eaten alive by that thing. Amiko shouted at Naruto. By your reaction, I'd say that this is a normal thing, isn't it Naruto? Toru asked. Yep, he's been doing stunts like that often. The first one was when he walked into a shadow. Being eaten by one of the crocs isn't something to worry about. So, how am I going to go about this? Tama asked. I'm not him. Simple. Naruto said. The second after that Tama found himself screaming while the croc ate swallowed him alive. So, who's up for lunch? Naruto asked like there was nothing wrong in the world, like he had not just somehow fed Tama to a croc. Why you monster? Toru and Amiko shouted while they pointed at Naruto. Hey big guy, Naruto spoke to the croc, pick up those two and bring them to the mess hall, the human one not yours, K. To which the croc bobbed its head up and down, then made its way over to the two frightened siblings, opened its jaw and bit them in a gentle way, then dragged their unconscious carcasses to the mess hall. Hee. Nice. The next thing Tama realized was that he wasn't being swallowed by some large thing. He'd never seen a crocodile in his life, but being eaten alive by something that had many little knives for teeth was not on his to-do list in life. Instead of finding himself in the gut of some large semi-aquatic animal, he found himself falling from a great height. It looked like he had just popped up in the sky and was falling at supposedly breaking speeds back to Earth. He prayed to all the kami that he knew of and some that were so just made up that they didn't even exist. He saw his rather short life pass before his very eyes. He even saw the weird man in black eating popcorn in his office watching him as he fell. When he decided to turn around and face his doom like a man, his fall had ended, and he found himself screaming his head off like a banshee beside Juashu, who was sticking his fingers in his ears to block out the dreadful sound. Are you done yet? Juashu asked, having become fed up with all the screaming. Was the reply. So Juashu slammed his fist onto Tama's head, silencing him instantly. Thank you, I think I needed that, Tama said once he had composed himself. You're welcome, next time just jump right in. Those things won't KU, unless I want them to. That's very reassuring. Your son is crazy, by the way. I don't know how he did it. I know. I'm his father after all. So, now what? Now we lounge around until someone finds us. Personally, I think that this whole civil war bit is just a fight between two brothers that escalated and included the entire country, and the only reason as to why the country is at war with the other countries is that the country just wants to be left alone and destroy itself from the inside, Juashu pondered aloud. You hit the nail right on the head there, Juashu-sama. Figures. So, it really is basically just a country suffering from an internal and an external war. Which makes most of the populace the suffering people that we are to save, and due to their numbers, we can't possibly take them all in. Wow, you assessed the situation quite fast. I thought that it would have taken us a week or something. Well, our base of operation here in Nairan no Kuni will take the rest of the week to complete. Once that has been done, I am going to have my army kill some people. One of them being the bastard grandchild of the double daimyos. What will that accomplish, sir? Oh, that will accomplish my acquisition of another commander for the last base of operations. The kid is actually a friend of mine. I accidentally met him while I was searching for Toru. He actually looks like Toru, average height, medium build, brown hair, wears purple shirts and gray pants most of the time, does not dress traditionally like most of the other people I've met. One example being you, who is wearing a kimono and hakama combination. The only difference between Toru and this grandchild of the double daimyos in that his eyes are well. Toru has green eyes, while this kid's got one red eye and one white eye. So what's the kid's name? Nufu Kira is his name. I rolled time back a bit for myself so that I could get to know him a little bit better and gain his trust. So don't be surprised if he calls me uncle. Why, you can roll back time. You know you don't really need to believe me, but since you are working for and with me, you might want to keep an open mind. Fine, whatever. The sky is pink, the oceans are orange, that bird is black, and that zombie is blue. Tama did a double take, then pointed a shaking finger at the zombie. KITJUUSHU. KIT. Hello, zombie-san. Juashu said as he waved and the zombie waved back. Do you have a message from sensei? It nodded its head slowly. What did he want you to tell me? Kyonshi Kami-sama says you take too long. Get on with lesson already, the zombie said. Anything else, zombie-san? You have popcorn. Kyonshi Kami-sama no have cause of that guy, the zombie said and pointed at Tama. Sure. Juashu then took out a scroll and handed it to the zombie, which after receiving the scroll bowed and turned to ash. Well. Oka-sama. Tama screamed his lungs out. Don't scream so loud, your lungs might fly out. Juashu then saw something fly out of Tama's mouth. Too late, there they go. Tama blinked twice, not knowing how he was still alive, and how that had happened. His lungs really did fly out of his mouth. Now Tama, if you want your lungs back, you have to promise me that you won't scream or attract attention to yourself, okay? Juashu asked, just nod if you understand. Tama nodded. Now promise, Juashu instructed, just nod your head if you promise not to attract attention to yourself. Tama nodded again. That was so scary, Juashu-sama, so scary. Tama said almost in tears. If you start crying your eyeballs'll pop out. That stopped Tama from showing any more emotion. Tama, just follow me. We're going to look for somewhere to construct the base. Okay, Juashu said. Quote. Well, nothing else if gonna fly off, right? Tama asked. Depends. Just follow me around. Don't worry, no one will see us. If you say so. I do, now come on. The two men walked around the almost desolate countryside. There were trees, some animals, some more trees, a few rot corpses that the two decided to bury, then more trees, a battle, a campsite, an orange book that looked out of place, some more trees. Then after 5 days of searching, the two men were back at the spot that they had arrived. This is the perfect spot. It's got the space, the farness from civilization. The lack of anyone who can find us. It's perfect. What do you think, Tama? You know what I think. I think you're really bored and just want me to go insane. That's what I think. So listen, just build the base, send out some recruiters, find that kid of yours, then go to Sekihin no Kuni. I have a feeling that you really want to go to war with the 9 lands. I know I do. I know that you've got more than enough troops to take on all 9 at the same time. So just go piss off the Nineth country. Just go get that kid so that we can start this thing. You really want me to say that if you continue saying what you're saying your arms will fall off, don't you? No. It's just that the only way to help this country is to go to war with it and stop the senseless fighting already. I know that the people of this country are sick of all the fighting. The common people of the other countries are just waiting for you to give the go signal for the major attacks to happen. I'm with you. So, go do your thing. I'll relay the message. If you say so. Don't screw up, Tama. After Juashu said that, he walked into the winds, and found himself in the room of his nephew. Hey Gaki, how ya been? Juashu asked him. Alright uncle. So when are we leaving? You know all this war is getting pretty tiring, and my friends in Sekihin are waiting for us to get there. I know Kira, I know. It's been more than 2 years already. We'll just pass by Tama, he's the guy I'm leaving in charge here. I still need to get a base for him set up. If you say so uncle. Juashu then put a hand on Kira's shoulder and they shimmered to the spot where he had left Tama. Tama was just sitting on a nearby log waiting for him to return. Juashu upon arrival formed his temporary gate, then he informed the general clone on the other side to send out 10,000 clones. Along with 5,000 cavalry, horses this time. He also ordered the general to send out to the rest of the bases reinforcements as well as at least 1,000 of the other creatures to all bases. It was nearly time for Juashu to claim the 9 lands. It was taking too long. It was a good thing that the remaining 2 lands were simpler than the other 7, else Juashu's campaign would start during the 1000th year anniversary of the War of the 9 Lands, and not end with it. Juashu also had the general clone inform Yuji to commence the plan for Komugi no Kuni. Yuji was tasked with burning the crops using the dragons, in full view of the Komugi military. Once all the clones had made the presence known, Juashu used one of his seldom used powers to just create the base. His imagination did wonders. The thing ended up looking like a walled castle town. Tama, once you've got enough troops, I want you to start harassing the locals. Make sure that they know it's not just some rebel group. I want the war to end exactly on the day of the 1000th anniversary. Got it. Hi. Let's go, Kira. Juashu said as he led Kira into a dense fog that had appeared out of nowhere. The duo exited on a grassy plain. It was just outside the capital of Sekihin no Kuni. The land was suffering from poverty, extreme poverty. The only ones that didn't appear to suffer were the soldiers in the army and the nobility. The country had a small revolutionary group that was led by Kira, that began around 5 years prior. Kira was 5 at the time, but he was already very charismatic. Little did anyone know that even at that time he was already working for and with Juashu. Due to traveling backwards through time, Juashu had already set up his toehold in Sekihin. He had also managed to recruit some troops from the common citizens, as well as from the nobility. Even some of the royals wanted change to occur. Through Kira they had chosen Juashu to lead them into a new age of peace. Kira had promised the people of Sekihine no Kuni 1,000 years of peace. All they had to do was side with him, and his uncle. All the members of Juashu's Sekihine group had met with Kira. They all knew him and trusted him. On the day that Juashu had arrived with Kira, would be the start of Juashu's campaign. He planned to have the Nine Lands attack his fortress city, which had come to be known as Juashu Aoju, while he personally went to the capitals of the Nine Lands and slew the daimyos. All those greedy and selfish people would then be judged by the people that they had oppressed. Some of the people would have to be re-educated and reintroduced into society, some ancient beliefs would have to be eradicated, but that was progress. If peace was to be obtained, then the people would have to accept progress. Juashu promised 1,000 years of peace. He would not break that promise. So, Kira, where do you want your base? Juashu asked his second favorite commander. I want it 1 month's trek north of our position. You got it, Gaki. Suddenly the two of them found themselves at precisely that location. Around the spot that they had appeared at, there were dozens of tents that littered the grassy ground. You had them prepare in advance, I see. I did. It's better this way, no. We get to start right away, get the ball rolling and all that. Above ground, underground, or like Tama. Like Tama. Juashu focused his energies into the land around him. With a rather large audience around him, he had to make a very impressive first impression. An aura grew visible around his form, first blue, then gold, then rainbow, then nothing. But it was during the nothing that the people around him could feel a weight so heavy that some found it difficult to move, and some had difficulty standing. In front of them and around them a city started to take form. Wooden houses started to emerge from the ground. In the center of it all, a castle arose. Higher and higher the castle went, until it was 7 stories tall. There was only one wall, and it was around the castle keep. The city was open and welcoming to anyone who wished to join it. Uncle, the troops? Kira asked. They're already in the keep, awaiting your orders. Arigato, uncle. Don't do anything until I give the go-ahead. Hi. Juashu then walks away, just walks, no melting into the shadows, no becoming the wind, melting into the earth, no bursting into butterflies, nothing special. Because, what could top creating something out of seemingly nothing? After Juashu vanished from the sight of the last person at the base, a man casually walked up to Kira. That was your uncle? Yes. Is there a problem? No. It's just that we expected him to like vanish into the wind or something like that. After seeing him create this city for us to use as our base of operations, you expected him to do something like that. Well, it would have been really cool. I suppose. So, when do things start to heat up for us, Kira-sama? As soon as he gives the go signal. Find everyone a home or something. I'm going to the castle and finding myself a room on the first floor. But, you're our commander, the top floor should go to you. Fine. I'll take the top, and one room at the bottom. I hate heights. While Juashu was walking, he opened up a telepathic channel that connected him to all his commanders, both clone and human. After all preparations are complete, you are free to commence. I'm giving everyone the green light. I repeat, I'm giving everyone the green light, Juashu said over his metal link. Then he opened a mental link with Token, Hyakume, and Dorotobo. You guys can go home now. I've got everything under control here. Just call me if you need me or something. After saying that, he felt his 3 friends transcend through the boundaries between world and went back home to report to Kyonshi and watch Juashu's progress. I really hope they can get those armies to attack home. Juashu thought as he continued his time warping trek back to Juashu Aoju. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.